today's world, filled with stress and uncertainty, many individuals encounter a problem that subtly erodes their lives: overthinking. This insidious process, characterized by endlessly replaying conversations, overanalyzing past decisions, and constantly worrying about future, often unrealistic scenarios, has a destructive impact on one's overall well-being. But what drives us into this mental trap? And how can we escape it? For many, overthinking seems to have become an inseparable part of daily life. Who among us hasn't experienced sleepless nights spent anxiously dwelling on the day's events? However, it's crucial to recognize that this is not merely a harmless habit, but a destructive process that traps individuals within their own minds, depriving them of mental clarity, the ability to concentrate, and a sense of purpose. Fortunately, an ancient philosophy offers time-tested strategies for regaining control over one's thoughts: Stoicism. Prominent Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus deeply understood the dangers of overthinking and developed practical tools to break free from this mental chaos. Endless rumination is not just an innocuous quirk, but a truly toxic cycle that erodes mental health and personal well-being. The deeper one sinks into this abyss of thoughts, the more their attention disperses, slipping away from truly meaningful aspects of life. Instead of savoring the present moment, they constantly rehash past events or conjure up the bleakest future scenarios in their imagination. This incessant process drains energy, breeds anxiety, and undermines decision-making confidence. When the mind is overloaded with thoughts, a paralysis of doubt sets in. Individuals lose faith in their own judgment, constantly subjecting themselves to criticism and self-reproach. The fear of making mistakes paralyzes them, causing them to avoid important actions and decisions. Overthinking becomes shackles, holding them in place, forcing them to shy away from risks and hindering progress in both personal and professional spheres. The philosophy of Stoicism offers a valuable lesson. Focus on what is within your control. Often, excessive rumination arises from the desire to control the uncontrollable, the actions of others, the outcomes of future events, or others' opinions. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca considered it pointless to waste energy on what lies beyond one's sphere of influence. Instead, they urged individuals to concentrate on their own thoughts, actions, and reactions. A key principle of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which divides everything into two categories: what you can control and what is beyond your capabilities. Overthinking occurs when attention is fixated on things that cannot be changed. By reminding oneself of this dichotomy, one gains the ability to release worries that serve no purpose. By focusing on one's own actions, mental energy is reclaimed, leading to a life lived in greater harmony. Another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy is the art of reframing, aimed at curbing the destructive power of excessive rumination. The tendency to overthink is often fueled by negative thought patterns, a propensity to project worst-case scenarios, or a painful immersion in past mistakes. Stoicism proclaims that the source of emotional distress lies not in the events themselves, but in our subjective interpretation of those events. Consequently, by transforming our perception, we gain the ability to break the vicious cycle of intrusive thoughts. In moments when stress or anxiety cloud the mind, it is helpful to pause and analyze the situation. Instead of focusing on potential negative outcomes, one should ask, what aspects of this situation are within my control? This reframing technique shifts the focus from a feeling of helplessness to a sense of self-efficacy. It encourages the search for constructive solutions rather than indulging in fears and doubts. By regularly practicing this transformation of thinking, one gradually frees themselves from the chains of overthinking, gaining greater clarity and control over their thoughts. One of the most accessible and effective tools in a Stoic's arsenal for taming the flow of intrusive thoughts is the Stoic pause. The essence of this technique is to create a gap between an initial emotional reaction and subsequent actions in a specific situation. When the mind is overwhelmed with thoughts and emotions, instead of giving in to impulsive urges, it is advisable to take a conscious pause. This brief halt allows one to view the situation with greater clarity and avoid impulsive actions. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to lose control over thoughts and emotions, but the Stoic pause creates a necessary mental buffer. By taking a deep breath and giving oneself time to reflect, one opens up space for rational thinking. This provides the opportunity to respond thoughtfully and deliberately, preventing overthinking from dictating terms. Over time, such practice strengthens the ability to manage one's thoughts and prevents overthinking from becoming a dominant force in life. In conclusion, it's worth highlighting several effective techniques that can be immediately integrated into daily practice to interrupt the endless cycle of intrusive thoughts. First, negative visualization, an exercise rooted in Stoic philosophy, involves deliberately picturing the most unfavorable turn of events. At first glance, this approach might seem paradoxical. However, by mentally modeling the worst-case scenarios, one dulls the fear of their actual occurrence. Once it's understood that even the most pessimistic scenario is often manageable and controllable, obsessive thoughts about it gradually subside. Furthermore, this practice fosters a deeper appreciation for what one already possesses and reduces anxiety associated with potential losses. Second, for a more tangible application of the dichotomy of control principle, it is recommended to create a written list of all situations and issues that trigger excessive rumination. Then, clearly distinguish between aspects that are within your personal control and those over which you have no influence. By directing your energy toward resolving tasks within your reach and letting go of everything else, you gain clarity regarding the limits of your power and cease fruitless attempts to change the uncontrollable. This exercise provides a clear understanding of your sphere of personal responsibility and helps free up mental resources previously expended on battling the inevitable. Journaling, as a conscious practice, can become a powerful tool for freeing the mind from chaotic thoughts and bringing them into order. By regularly setting aside a few minutes each day to record one's experiences and reflections on paper, one gains the opportunity to view them from an external perspective. This process allows internal struggles to be externalized, where they can be analyzed more rationally and objectively. Journaling also provides an excellent opportunity for self-reflection, enabling one to recognize the impact of overthinking on various aspects of life. Instead of remaining captive to one's own thoughts, individuals are prompted to take active steps and seek constructive solutions. Overthinking does not have to be an insurmountable obstacle to a fulfilling life. By integrating the principles of Stoic philosophy into daily routines, focusing on areas within one's control, reframing negative thought patterns, and employing methods like the Stoic pause, each individual can reclaim lost tranquility and mental clarity. Even minor shifts in how one reacts to their own thoughts can lead to significant improvements, fostering a more focused and harmonious life.